From a vision perspective, it's headed in the right direction.
Mr. Rao, I think
The last word.
no, I think we have said enough. I think I would say everything is positive. As I mentioned earlier, there is nobody can find fault with all these great motherhood statements. To me, they are targets and objectives which we have to achieve. There are good targets, good objectives. How do we get there on a time-bound plan, as Anand Dalal has mentioned? That is the biggest concern that we have.
Implementation.
Time-bound plans are very much essential, making the right resources available, making the right policies to be made available for right-of-way, for infrastructure creation, and making right infrastructure for creating the local manufacturing to happen. I think it's all about some proper execution and the metrics to be evolved there. But at the end of it, if only you go back to the first statement there, two words are missing, sustainability and scalability. I think if only those two were added in the vision statement, I would have been very happy. I think. So what we would like to have is, it's all this is fantastic, but sustainability and scalability also should have been addressed in some way. And not just telecommunications. So they have written converged telecommunication services, but should have been expanded to say that telecommunication, media, entertainment, internet and broadcasting industries should be seen as the true convergence, so that you have a unified license, which the government has really thought about will happen, not universal access service license that we have now, but we will have a unified license supporting all those services on a converged telecom services in a truly taking care of the industry. If we are not sustaining, if we can't meet the scalability aspirations of all of you, both from the point of view of QoS, QoE, availability, reliability, maintainability, I don't think this will remain a big pipe dream. But I don't think that's what government is thinking about it. We are working with the government to fine-tune this policy so that this becomes a faster reality.
Thank you. Maybe it's worthwhile just to sort of pull up what Dr. Kalam had to say and what Obama had to say in terms of the role of telecom in the economies and what Dr. Kalam had to say. So maybe can you pull up those slides? Late, but the discussions have been very fantastic, and we will allow the luxury of being a little late. So we have a time for a couple of questions before we sort of wrap up. So, just two questions. Yeah. Can you use the mic, please?
Marvel Semiconductors, and I help with cloud services out of India. We are actually trying to set up a cloud computing. We work with ARM, and the question I would like to ask is, we have deep expertise in ARM computing. We won the Google TV account recently. We also ship with top phone vendors like Samsung and BlackBerry, the RIM. So we have deep knowledge of modems and things like that. Now, when we try to offer this technology, a lot of it is, let's say, TD based. So China made a move into TD SCDMA and TD LTE, and India has not actually done that. We ship around 80 to 90% of the chips in TD. So that's something that we are based out of Pune, we can offer. And on the other side is, we also make cloud computing servers, and we'd like to ship them to China. So in both ways, that trade has a bit of a Gabbar Singh effect. Oh no, China is like Gabbar Singh, we don't want to give them, we don't want to take from them. And that's where we would like some help from the NTP policy. In general, for the communication, the telecom policy that, we're talking about, right? So specifically, I would actually ask you, Mr. Hemant, is, to enable us to serve China or even enable us to serve India with Chinese technology. So to take one technology to the other market, there are areas. We actually, would like some government guidance and some policies that would help out. If I ship a cloud server from India to China, that server has to meet Indian export compliance restrictions, which are much, much lower than what Taiwan or US can do. And so we are forced to source these components out of elsewhere. It's not that China is doing anything special with them. They're just building more e-commerce servers. But just the requirements stop us from doing it out of India, for instance.
So I have a couple of suggestions. We have an industry representative, Mr. Matthew. Perhaps he can help to highlight the issue to the relevant bodies of the government. That is one. You should consider contacting Som Mittal of NASSCOM, and I think he is very active in think. So NASSCOM, COI, maybe Mr. Rao can throw some more light. No. Yeah, so I think these two bodies, there is the Electronic Association, there is a ITU representative. I think there are various bodies, and I think NASSCOM would be a good sort of, yeah, please.
There is Indian manufacturing policy which encourages the Indian manufacturers to be global giants. So the part is there. And I mean, you can take it up through NASSCOM and various other associations.
And then, so would the TD policies be pushed in China, or is that something we can look
It's not
for?
exactly a specific policy. It talks about the Indian manufacturers being the global leaders. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, one more question. Sorry, a delayed lunch, I must say.